Welcome back to Hats of Time. Sunken Resort. I'll look at that later. That's DLC stuff or community stuff. That's not for the videos though. Yeah, Hat Time. This will be the last one. Should be.
Allegedly.
All I gotta do is get one more timepiece, finish the finale of the Nyaka's DLC, and then fight the final boss, because Nyaka doesn't really get a final boss. Neither does Seal the Deal. There's no real final boss to either of them.
Fair enough.
Like, they're fun, but it is kind of unfortunate you don't get, like, a final boss for them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more sense with the, it makes more sense with the cruise than it does with, this, I think.
Maybe they just don't want to take away from the final boss of the game, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Speaking of bad bosses, though, have you heard the latest about everyone's least favorite billionaire, Elon Musk?
Oh, are you talking about where he fired somebody that he really shouldn't have fired?
Yeah.
I have heard about this.
So basically, long story short, dude had a startup company in Iceland. He sold it to Twitter, like back to the CEO before Elon Musk. But rather than just take like the flat payout, he took his payment in wages, which meant he paid maximum amount of tax on it, purely so he would pay the maximum amount of tax for Iceland. Because he's a massive philanthropist and there's a big campaigner for accessibility in Iceland because dude has muscular disease and he's wheelchair bound. So anyway,
I was like, yep.
So anyway, one day he's just locked out of all of his accounts, doesn't know why. It takes him like a week of trying to contact HR before he just tweets at Elon Musk, who, who handles this very delicate situation with tact and finesse. By which I mean, he insults him, calls him lazy, and then outs his private medical history on the internet. Which is very, very illegal.
Yeah, it is very illegal. But Musk is too stupid to remember that.
But then, as it's turned out, part of the deal for this buyout is that if he was ever like terminated sort of unceremoniously without good cause, he gets the full payout of what his company was worth, or something to that amount.
Which was like 100 mil, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So now suddenly Elon Musk is scrambling to get him to stay, because apparently what it was is that he was on the big do not fire list, but apparently he was such high on the list, all the people who had like the credentials to look at the list had been fired. So nobody knew that he was on the list of do not fire these people at any cost.
Even if Musk had access to it, do you think he'd read it?
No. Well, he would have if he realized how much money it's going to cost him.
Well, I'm pretty sure what happened is that after he did it, probably like one of his lawyers or something like that got a hold of him and was like, "Hey, dude, you should look at this." And then he looked at it and was like, "Oh, fuck!"
So, yeah, about 100 mil is the rough estimate of just the company, not counting the damages for revealing his private medical history. And even beyond just the general stupidity of doing something like that, it's like, who do you think you're impressing, Mr. Tiny Dicked Billionaire Boy? It's like, oh yeah, you're making fun of a dude who has a disability. He's literally in a wheelchair, and you're trying to imply he's lazy, and that's why you fired him. And it's like, how did you ever think that you didn't come off like an unreasonable cunt in this scenario, regardless of anything else, and then have the audacity to like say, "Oh, I was fed the wrong information." It's like, well, you shouldn't have done what you did, and regardless of what information you had, because it's super illegal.
I mean,
and I hope this guy absolutely rinses him in court.
Oh, I agree. But also, this Elon Musk is a person who, in high school, made fun of a kid whose dad killed himself and then was really upset when the kid responded by pushing him down the stairs. And then had a children's book made where he had it changed to where it's like, no, I was pushed down the stairs for my radical ideas, and that even the adults laughed at. It's like, no, you were just being a fucking cunt. No, hold on, I didn't say that right. You were being a fucking cunt. There we go. I had to put more energy into it.
Yeah. He was just determined to prove himself the worst human being alive.
Yeah, he really is. He's a fucking piece of shit.
The only upside is that this is going to cost him a fortune.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As I said, 100 million just for the company buyout, not counting damages. And the dude has like his actual pick of fucking employment rights attorneys. Because they've all like flooded his DMs because they're like, yeah, we'll take the case because you're obviously gonna fucking win.
I mean, what lawyer wouldn't take that case? That's open and shut. Easy. That's an easy win.
Pretty much.
Like,
ugh.
You would be out of your mind not to take that.
Mm.
But
so, yeah, Elon Musk
is so fucking
used
man.
to be a massive piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So my thing is funny, but not quite as. I don't know if it's quite as funny. So we've talked about many times on here, like Western journalism's like bias against like Japanese media and how like back in the day they were very brazenly racist.
Yeah.
So it actually is. So as we are the progenitors of it, before it became more mainstream to talk about it, it actually became more mainstream to talk about it recently, and I don't mean just in the vein of Elden Ring. So people started pulling up old clips from X-Play, which is a show that was big here back in the day. And by the way, they pulled up the clip mainly to show off. Not so much to single out the host specifically, but to talk about the general atmosphere of the time. And, in the clip, it's one where they're making a really stupid gag where it's like, haha, his name is Sake. It sounds like sake. Man, I want to drink some sake right now. And then just just saying that over and over again. Whereas like, sake, sake. Like, they just keep doing that. And
wait for the joke. Wait for the joke.
There is no joke. It's just racist. By the way, because of this, it I guess I gotta get another one. Because of this, it surfaced. What was it? Because of this, eventually Adam Sessler, one of the two hosts, saw this, and now this clip was back from like 2006. Now, most people, like me, would just be like, okay, this was, years ago. This was the environment at the time.
Different time,
even if they helped foster it. People change, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, the jackass basically went psycho and just started yelling at everybody.
Always a good sign.
Yeah. There were two options he could have made where nobody would have wanted to drag him. One, nothing. You say nothing. You just do nothing, say nothing, because nobody was even bringing him up specifically, even though he's the one saying it in the clip. Because it was more just used for the broader discussion. By the way, he also tried to blame right-wingers for it, when all the people that were critiquing him were, like, mostly left-wingers. There was a couple of right-wingers in there, don't get me wrong, but it was mostly, like, people on the left.
I was gonna say, surely if you're talking about racism in media, that's a traditionally leftist argument.
Yeah. So then more clips started surfacing, and I'm going to say this, it was worse than I remembered. Like, there was a part where they do, like, the typical, like, haha, Japanese crazy thing, where they do, like, the fucking, like, bonsai, dumb edit. Like, oh, people found our game Shin Megami Tensei confusing. Let's have this to explain it, and it's just, like, a bunch of random bullshit. because haha, it's Japan, am I right? And at the end of it, like Morgan Webb like says, "I fear for the day that rice bean eating people rule over us all."
Oof.
Actually, specifically a race of bean curd loving people rule over us all. That was the quote.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't even remember that line. I'm pretty sure it was probably after I've fallen off, because X-Play is, I've noted before, is X-Play is like the reason why I don't pay attention to reviews and don't really give them much weight. I might joke about them, but I don't take any of them seriously because I think they're all fucking jokes. Yeah, I was, honestly, I remember them being fairly racist, but I was, honest to God, gobsmacked at that. Like, I was shocked how, like, brazenly racist that was. That's not, like, you know, like, slightly racist. That's advanced racism. Like, they're, like, 1 inch away from just dropping a goddamn slur. Like, fuck, man. There are other ones, too, like one part where Adam's wearing yellow face.
Oof.
And hell, honestly, if you
Well.
wanted me to even say, like, do, like, a really weak-kneed defense, because of the era of the time and the fact that they're just hosts, you could even argue that, like, oh, yeah, they were told to do this shit. Though, I'm less willing in my head to extend that, generosity to Adam than I am Morgan, because Morgan hasn't said shit. Adam opened his fucking mouth and opened it in the dumbest way possible. Insert foot.
Isn't he the guy who hosts the Game Awards?
Adam? I don't think he ever hosted the Game
Or am I
Awards.
thinking of a different...
I mean, X-Play
I'm
used
thinking
to
of a
have their
different guy
own...
then. I thought there was one of them.
I know X-Play used to have
Oh,
their
I
own,
was just
like,
was one of the presenters was like, or one of the Game Award presenters was like ran or did a show like X-Play or something.
He might have been on the thing at one point, but I don't, since it is Spike TV and Spike TV did own G4, especially in the later years. But I don't remember if he did or not. But that would take me to pay. I as much as we joke about the Game Awards, or I joke about it, I don't pay that close attention to it. Like,
Yeah,
they're more of a passing, like, joke fancy to me. Like, I'll talk about them here and there because it's funny, but outside of that, like, you couldn't hold a gun to my head to get me to remember anything.
So yeah, turns out some dude from 2006 was incredibly racist.
I think it's only funny because of the veneer of pretending to be progressive. I think that's the only reason that's the only thing that really makes it, like, really stick out more so to me, is it's like,
Yeah.
and also the part where he just goes on rant, like, saying, like, oh, it's the MAGA people. It's like, no, none of, and, like, looking through is like, were there conservatives in there critiquing him? Yes! I'm not going to say there weren't. Were they the majority? Honestly, no! I looked because one of my responses got a lot of likes, and none of them were liking it, and it was basically saying, like, dude, the things you said back then were pretty bigoted, and I really thought you moved on as a person. I really hope one day you do.
Surprisingly tame for you.
I mean, I can be tactful sometimes. I'm not always feral.
Just mostly.
That's racist.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do about it?
I don't know. There's nowhere to go with this joke. There's no punchline. It's the bit's done. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, I was honestly a little taken aback because I honestly forgot how bad some of those clips were. Ah, fuck. But yeah, that's it with that. That didn't really have much else to add or say about it. Just, man, it's fucking weird.
Yeah. I did see an Amazing Spider-Man with Mary Jane's new surrogate daughter that she loves so much. They managed to make her not know her own name. They've literally given the daughter 2 different names across like 4 issues apart.
Wait, like the writers are forgetting her name?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This isn't a hastily made thing but because of editing team or something, because of the editors or something? The editors at Marvel?
I mean, I think it's not even that. I think it's just pure laziness.
Oh, definitely.
Because I think they've started to finally reveal what the mysterious thing that happened in the 6 months gap between Peter and MJ are moving in together and everything's great again, to now they're broken up forever. We're not going to tell you why. So it's because of some random schmuck villain who was in 3 issues, like sort of very early post One More Day. So it is just kind of like, and I mean, he's actually a fucking nobody, but he's got some freaky Mayan god powers. Or some shit. Anyway. But I do know he's got Mayan god powers, but he talks in Nordic runes. So, you know, that's weird.
Yeah, as you do.
That's my business. I will call on you if I need your skills again.
Can't wait for it to be Loki.
For now, enjoy
Probably.
It's gotta
I
be
think
Loki.
it is even specifically...
and preparation.
I even think it's specifically a Mayan god of mischief.
It's gonna be fucking Loki.
Anyway, after this, me and a friend got talking, and he found out that back in 2004, like whatever, just before One More Day, Marvel thought it would try and get back into romance comics. And
Sure,
the
funny way
story
of
they
doing
tried,
that.
yeah, well, apparently the story they tried to do involved a young Richard and Mary Parker and Aunt May, who Richard Parker sleeps with, and she becomes pregnant with Peter. Now, aside from that just being that's just a stupid plotline in general. Don't forget, Aunt May is always meant to be significantly older than Richard and Mary. Like, she's an old fucking late, like, she's a decrepit old lady by the time Peter's fucking 15. So that's a weird choice to go with.
Yeah.
Basically, Marvel's stupid.
Yeah.
Why can't they make? But you know what? DC's current Flash run, that's actually not bad.
I even
Wally-
even if it's good, I just don't trust comics anymore. I'm not going to pick it up. I'm broken.
Wally West is back as the Flash.
For 5 minutes,
Yeah,
and then he'll be fucking
but it'll
dead
be
again.
a good 5 minute. Yeah, probably.
And then
but
it'll
it'll
be
a
back
good
to
5 minute.
fucking dumb shit.
I mean, considering his movie is now finally coming out, I'm sure Barry will return. Regardless of if we want him, we definitely don't.
Even though we didn't want Ezra Miller either, but here we are.
Yeah. Oh well.
I guess that's what happens when you have so much dirt on people.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You gotta remember, it's allegedly. We have to say allegedly every time that we say the truth. I mean, the alleged truth.
Yes. Now you're catching on. Just because something's true doesn't mean you don't have to try and cover your ass.
It's true.
Ugh. On the bright side, Metroid Fusion's coming to Switch.
I think it's via
Hooray.
the
Yeah,
the
it's
pass thing.
the online
Unfortunately.
pass thing.
It's unfortunate because
but
I would
technically
like
you
to
could
just
get
own
it.
it, you know.
Yeah, but take what you can fucking get at this point, man.
To be fair, at least Metroid's finally eating, you know? It's finally getting shit.
Sorry.
Also, I have a crazy cat now with a rocket launcher trying to kill me.
Yeah. Ugh. But yeah. Turns out if you release good Metroid games, people will play them.
Who knew?
Crazy, I know.
Honestly, I'm shocked.
Meanwhile, in F-Zero land,
What's an F-Zero?
poor F-Zero. Yeah, exactly.
F-Zero, never heard of it.
Do you ever think it's crazy that we're already on like the third Splatoon game
Yeah.
versus some other games
that's
that
'cause
got
that one's
fucking nothing?
that's because also a lot of the games that don't get anything are Miyamoto games. Miyamoto has nothing to do with Splat. And Miyamoto's really weird about giving certain games sequels, unless he comes up with like a fucking wacky gimmick that nobody wants.
The same. Did Miyamoto have anything to do with Metroid?
Metroid, no.
I didn't think he did. I'm pretty sure he's basically just Mario and... I'd say Donkey Kong, but I guess he's Star Fox.
He's Star Fox,
Well,
F-Zero.
Yeah, okay. No,
uh,
he's Star Fox 64.
He's Star Fox. Well, he is Star Fox the original as well. Star
Yeah,
Fox.
fair.
Star
Although-
Fox is his baby, whether we like it or not.
That would be why they just... That would be why, like, half of the Star Fox games are remakes of one game.
Yep. Just a remake with like a slightly different gimmick. And then the ones that aren't by him are, you know, new games.
Or, like, Frankenstein games made from the corpses of other games.
Yeah.
Look at you, Star Fox Adventures.
I kind of feel sorry for that game, I'll be honest.
Eh,
It's not a bad game. It's just not a Star Fox game, and not like I say like a fantastic game either. It's just, you know, it's all right.
yeah. I just think it probably would... I just think if it had just been Dinosaur Planet, you'd still have, like, people fanboying over Crystal.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think if it was Dinosaur
But
Planet
I-
and Crystal was the main character, I think people would have liked it better. Like, even though it would have been just, you know, an okay game, I think it would have been like how Banjo-Kazooie is all right, but, you know, not the best. It's all right, but people, you know, hold it up to such high regard.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like Dinosaur Planet would have been that game that came out would have been like mildly well received, but never would have like really got much attention afterwards beyond just, you know, Crystal.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
Never forget, Dinosaur Planet was meant to be a Timber game.
A what game?
So, you know Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah.
So that was originally meant to be, there's a character in it called Timber the Tiger.
Oh, it's just their game.
So he was supposed to be the original protagonist of Diddy Kong Racing. In fact, all of the backstory stuff is about Timber and it being his island and him calling all of his friends to help. And also Crunk.
I did not know that.
And Rare were told, okay, you can do this, but we want Diddy Kong to be, you know, we want Diddy Kong to be like the protagonist. So Dinosaur Planet was originally designed to be another Timber spin-off game.
Man, Timber just never got to have his spotlight, did he?
Yeah, had two of his games stolen by other Nintendo characters. To be fair, the Dinosaur Planet thing he got screwed on even before the Star Fox mandate came in because he was replaced with Crystal fairly early.
Yeah.
Well, I think the idea was that most of the Diddy Kong Racing cast, apart from the Diddy Kong characters, would have like
They were gonna have
their
games
own
at some
thing.
point.
Conker did.
Yeah, I think was he the only one that did?
Well, Banjo.
I thought Banjo had a game before.
Diddy Kong Racing predates Banjo.
Oh, okay.
In like the manual, I think it even allude like they did. I think they were in development because I'm pretty sure the manual even like acknowledges, oh, this is before Banjo met Kazooie or something.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, it turns out the lore of Diddy Kong Racing is surprisingly deep.
I've heard crazier stuff. But it is interesting, though.
And then after they beat Wizpig, they fly off into space in order to go and beat Wizpig on his home planet because he's a giant pig magician from space.
As you do.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen. I just like that. So there's Krunk, who's a Kremlin. I like that his backstory is basically, King K. Rool noticed that Diddy Kong was off doing something, and he was like, well, this is probably something fucky. You go and see what's going on, my henchman.
I mean, that makes sense. Oh, and now the Yakuza DLC is done.
Hooray. I mean, to be honest, it's probably too smart of a plan for King K. Rool.
Yeah! I mean, King K. Rool doesn't know what he is half of the time.
I thought I could trust you.
Sometimes he's a scientist, sometimes he's a pirate, sometimes he's a wrestler.
Sometimes he's a boxer.
Sometimes the games are actually okay.
And sometimes he's a low tier.
I should have a better eye for who I elevate.
No, he's busted, don't you know?
I mean, he does have a lot of super armor.
I mean, I don't know where he stands tier-wise. Don't ask me about Smash tiers. I don't fucking know.
Oh, he's not Ganondorf tier, but
Ganon's actually, I think, higher up. Like, I don't think he's high, but I know he's decent.
I'm pretty sure Ganon is like the worst character in the game.
I was just about to get out.
I'd have to double check though, and I'm not doing that at the moment.
We'll meet again, brat.
I will say, with the ending of this DLC, it is kind of dumb that you don't get to fight the Mafia boss lady, and that she's treated as, like, the strongest thing in the fucking games.
Could have had a fucking Yakuza style, like, intro.
Like, it kind of sucks you don't get a boss fight, and that she's treated as stronger than literally everything else you dealt with, because you don't get to fight her. But I do like that the ending is literally two cops just walk onto the, elevator, and she's like, "Oh, officers! I was just getting off!" She just fucking books it out.
Fair.
So, like, that's funny. I do like that, but, yeah. And also, because I don't feel like dealing with the loading screen, because, you know, there's the ending of the game is long. If you go into the shop and smack her with your umbrella or bat, she just immediately kills you.
Hooray.
You can't avoid it. I tried. Because I wanted to see if there was a way I could get away with, like, smacking her and running away, but you can't. You just die. And I just don't feel like having the game load. It's funny if I was streaming and not recording. I'd probably do it at least once. But, yeah.
Alas, we are not doing that.
Also, man, this is the longest Sabo's been dead. I thought
maybe he's
actually dead.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh well.
Damn.
These things happen.
It's gonna be great. We switch to another game, and he's just like, "We still playing Hat in Time?"
I don't think he remembers we're playing a Hat in Time.
Might not.
We will be playing Okami for like a year though.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna play next, unless like next recording session comes. I'm like, hey, I want to do this small game first, which isn't impossible. I've done stupid stuff like that before. I've like literally like had talks where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this game next, and then it comes time to record. And I'm like, hey, so I decided on this instead.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be the first time. It sucks that it's not here because this is the second recording that I have the Ruby Rose costume on, or well, color scheme. It was for Sabo. I did it for him.
I dressed like this for you. Why won't you notice me?
I dressed like this for you. Why won't you notice me, Sabo? Why won't you return my calls? I know you like Ruby.
Why don't you look at me after we make love? Oh.
By the way,
yes.
But yeah, I honestly, like I said before, I forgot how, you know, kind of short this game actually is, like, without the DLC. Like, I mean, and also if you're not like 100%ing it, and you can still get a high percent by just playing the game too. To be fair,
Yeah.
but it is really fun. Like, honestly, like at some point I should go. The only reason I probably won't ever 100% it is because since the DLC has the seal to deal stuff, and I just don't like the seal to deal stuff enough to do that. Like the little like challenge missions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because basically, the first DLC was the challenge missions and the seal maps, or a map, and that was pretty much it. Yakuza is a bigger one, but it's like one thing, but you get a lot of like new like cosmetic shit. Also, because I want to beat this game and not have the video be so long, it's the reason I just skip past the line and talk to every NPC.
But yeah, that's fair.
Because, you know, I would like to get this done within, like, at least, like, not too far off an hour. Because if I talk to everyone, it'll take a hot minute. If you want to see the funny dialogue, you can play the game yourself.
Plus, also, we don't want to get demonetized by the conductor saying peck neck.
Fuck, you just said it.
Oh.
God
Shit.
damn it. Oh, you fucking peck neck. Oh, God, I said it.
We're all peck necks here.
We gotta make our YouTuber apology video now.
I never wanted to have to make this video.
But unfortunately, you all caught me saying a terrible word. So now I have to say it. Also, look at my cute little pet. Aren't they so cute and fluffy?
I'm really sorry I embezzled all of this money out of my fans and treated you like shit. Anyway, look at my dog. That will make you feel better for the complete breach of trust that I gave to you, that I've performed.
Like, listen, I got a dog, and they're cute. I'm people just like you. Don't you bereave me?
No.
Oh. Oh, shit. You know, that was way more, the game was way more, lenient with the jump I just did than it should have been. I should not have made that jump.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, it's fine, because I didn't get, like, knocked off a cliff and take damage. So it's fine for me. Very generous of the game. Most games aren't that generous. Most games would be like, good job, idiot, die.
Well, you've killed yourself. Have fun.
Have fun being dead, idiot. By the way, I like my favorite cosmetic from the Yakuza DLC is the one that changes the brew hat to the cat ears, and the bombs become like stacks of money that explode.
Nice.
And I just really find that fucking funny.
Get that paper.
Dosh. Grab it while you can, lads. Listen, I played Killing Floor at least a few times.
At least more than 3.
At least more than 3.
When my favorite statement to try and get out of something horrible done by a famous person.
What's that?
It's, when Justin Trudeau was questioned on how many times he worn blackface.
What did he say?
At least more than 3. Which tells me he knows it's more, but he doesn't want to say the exact number because he knows they can only get him on 3.
Makes me wonder if we get that response from Adam Sussler if we asked him how many times he wore yellowface.
No, I'll tell you that he didn't, and it's not, and it's all fine. There's nothing racist about what he did.
It's the gamer culture's fault. You mean the culture you cultivated? No! Shut up! He's like fucking Huey at Metal Gear Solid 5. You should be on the boat, not me!
That's because I killed my wife. Because she wouldn't let me stick our infant son in a giant robot.
It would have been so cool!
Well, it's fine, because then we know what Huey's fate ultimately is anyway.
Yeah.
Gets cucked by his own son.
This is why I wanted to put you in the robot! You can't cuck me if you don't have balls!
Can't he?
Mm.
Well, joke's on Otacon anyway, because everything he loves dies.
It's true. It's true. Except, I guess, Sunny. She gets to live.
Yeah, for now.
They haven't made a sequel to Revengeance, so...
Give it time.
She's not at risk. Also, there's no Kojima anymore to write it who would be like, killing a girl. Yes, I love doing that.
It would be a very Kojima move, yeah.
Because I think what was it? I had a conversation, and I came to the conclusion that there's only 3 women who make it out of the series alive, and there's only 3 women in the series who don't get sexually assaulted in some way, and they're not the same 3. Only there's one that's different for the 2, because Boss is never sexually assaulted that I know of.
No, I don't think she was.
Because Meryl's on Survive, but not on avoiding sexual assault. Because they imply that Ocelot sexually assaults her in the original game.
Hmm.
Fun, innit?
This is odd considering it doesn't feel like an Ocelot move.
No,
but...
it doesn't! It feels like it was just there to be edgy, to be honest.
Possibly. So who else survives?
Can you believe it?
Oh.
Believe it? This mafia guy, she's gonna kill this mafia guy, but he didn't punch an old guy for like a day straight.
Well,
Can you believe the cruelty here? He didn't punch them for a day.
well.
By the way, I like how she calls you a selfish pest while after stealing all your shit.
No one accused Mustache Kiss of being, sane.
I mean, when you turn yourself into a crazy dictator who decides who lives and who dies while sitting on a pile of stolen goods. I will say one thing that's kind of funny about the Yakuza DLC going back to the regular stuff. So the Yakuza DLC does a lot of like pretty good facial animations for the antagonist lady, and you can see how much better they got at animating characters versus the rest of the game. Which makes me go, man, I want to see a sequel to this fucking game.
Well, maybe it was quite popular.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll definitely make, even if they don't get a sequel, they'll definitely make another game at some point. See, you know what? I'm starting to agree with you. I think we should just kill the Cockney.
Exactly.
It's fine.
I hate them. They're all just fucking prancing around. Ooh, I'm from London. I'm special.
Alright, well, if it makes you feel better, because of the DLC, my weapon is a bat, so I can hit her with a baseball bat.
Should have been a cricket bat.
Oh, there's no cricket bat in this game.
Well, that's their fault.
Hey, I didn't design this game. The cool thing is that replaying this is I like that you can just abuse the time stop and just whack her extra times, and you should be allowed to.
Zawarudo.
So, well, no, Tokyo Tomade. It's like, oh, you got timepieces? That's cool. I have a hat that lets me slow down time. Fuck you.
I have stando power.
You know, the conductor didn't say his famous line there.
Maybe he's learning.
I don't think he's gonna learn. I like how basically the conclusion of the game is basically a bunch of people just telling a child to get the fuck out. To be fair, she is murdering a bunch of people with time powers, so...
Yeah. She's somehow making the Mafia look like the good guys.
Yeah. Like, even when you talk to the people, you can hear, like, their crimes are just like really stupid stuff. Like, hey, you look a little scary. So you know, it's pretty fashy.
Yeah, well,
Do you think this is a young Captain Marvel?
possibly.
I will say I do love this boss fight. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty good final boss.
Like, a lot of times in games, I don't think the final boss is my favorite. This is one of the times where it is.
Ugh.
And, like, I don't know, it just, like, the effects all are pretty cool. And it's just a fun fight.
Yeah, until all the people start killing themselves.
Yeah, it's fine, though.
Dang it.
You rewind time and, you know, it's okay.
Yeah. Gets a bit weird, though.
This game is a bit weird. Well, actually, speaking of the time where they start killing themselves, we're getting the part where they start joining in the fight because she starts teleporting every time you get close to her.
Cheating bitch.
It's true, she is cheating. I wonder if the person rolling on the thing changes depending on who you help. Because, like, the conductor is obviously the one who is helping me. But I'm kind of curious if you fought him instead of DJ Grooves, if it switches.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it's always based on like which one you supported.
Which is cool.
Yeah. But also, why would you help DJ Grooves? He's an arsehole.
I mean, aren't they all assholes, though?
Yeah, but at least the conductor has the excuse that he's old and doesn't know better. Plus, I like it when
I don't know.
people
If you look at
peck
the stuff, they're both old.
Yeah. But I like it when the conductor calls people peck necks.
It is funny. And I do like that you can say peck and then get a funny reaction out of DJ Grooves. I know I watched a stream where somebody did the opposite, where they ended up getting fighting the conductor instead of DJ Grooves. I don't think they're actively going for either or, just the way it all happened.
Well, I think it's technically easier to do DJ Grooves.
To fight DJ Grooves?
Yeah. Considering his stages are just like open.
Hmm. I mean, that makes sense.
Although, having said that, I didn't. I'm pretty sure my first playthrough, when I wasn't really trying for either one, I wound up getting the conductor winning on my first attempt on the first thing.
Ah.
So I went back and made sure that DJ Grooves won. Because I figured out whoever doesn't win, whoever you
help wins is the final boss.
Yeah, well, boss of that stage.
Final boss
yeah.
of that world. But which is a cool gimmick. They are for the audience. They are the same boss fight. I think the boss fight works better for Grooves. Like, it just the way it plays out and the way that they interact with each other feels like it makes more sense for Grooves to be the one you're fighting.
Yeah. Plus, I think it fits better of like Grooves being someone who's lost like every.
Right, and he kind of like the facade drops, and it turns out the conductor, who seems like an asshole, is actually not the asshole.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of because it plays into I guess I think I have a soft spot for the gruff old guy who's actually a decent dude.
Yeah.
That also reminds me of Scrooge McDuck, so you know.
And everyone likes Scrooge.
It's true. Now everyone starts dying.
Oh. Tragic.
It's fine, they'll be back to life after I knock out this child. I just gotta beat up this kid from London and then they'll be back to normal.
How'd you do?
You know, to be fair, Mustache Kid, you know you fucked up when the guy that I literally turned into a brain into like goo in a jar is rooting for me and not you. I mean, the worst thing I did to not Slender Man is annoy him like a Looney Tunes character.
But you made him be your best friend.
It's true. I think that's also why I don't really I have an issue with the Yakuza thing where just a gang boss is too powerful for you, where this is the same game where you essentially Looney Tunes win against a like weird horror monster, and it kind of I don't know, it like doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Well, that was weird. I was scared. My screen turned off for a second, but it was just because I had gone into sleep mode.
Ah, yeah. That'll do that. I do like that the boss fight basically, once you hit this point, turns into, you have to try to lose. Because you're just getting, like, tossed so much health. And, like,
well, you've already got past the challenging part, so...
Yeah. It's basically the final stretch, now you just get the school on her for a little bit. But then again, considering I've been the entire boss fight I was abusing the time stop hat, I was kind of schooling on her the entire time. But you know what? She may be defeated, but I want to hit her one more time. Good measure. You know, you always double tap.
Yep.
You never want to just leave them as they are. They could just come back. Gotta give them one more whack just to make sure they stay the fuck down. So they know you fucking mean business. Also, this mod I downloaded ruins the final cutscene because fucking Maxwell is gonna be spinning in the background with Funky Town playing.
Nice.
I thought about maybe uninstalling it to make it stop, but then I thought, you know what, this is funnier. Alright, we have to make a moral decision here, Train. Do we hand her a single timepiece? Or do we not?
It's not.
Considering what she just did? She went full dictator, fuck her!
Yeah.
She got a little bit of power, went fucking crazy. Who knows what she'll do with just a small amount of power? It may be a fraction of what she had, but we saw what happened.
Yeah. You can't trust these people.
Nope. Fucking weird aliens, man. They can't be trusted with this kind of power. This is why we don't come here.
It's a bad neighborhood.
Really is. Oh. I forgot it's the part when all the NPCs from the game basically hold the ship back. Because they don't want you to go.
You're like, peace out, homies.
Like, bitch, I'm trying to go home. I'm 7. I've been stuck on your planet for like a month. I like how even motherfuckers like, how about a contract, huh? Please?
Yeah, well. He doesn't want his new best friend to go.
I do like that she just pushes them off with like a giant fucking like push broom.
I mean, you got to be prepared for these sort of eventualities.
I mean, I think at this point she's probably gonna have to install some weaponry to this ship.
At least something to be anti-mafia.
Anti-mafia, anti-cockney child. You know, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to buy a spacesuit, though. She doesn't need to breathe in space.
Do any of them need spacesuits?
No, apparently.
It's Jimmy Neutron rules.
You know, honestly, I enjoy when cartoons just go full cartoon logic and you're like, yeah, they can just breathe in space, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's A Hat in Time.
We did it.
It's a very good video game. If you haven't played it, please do. It's really good. There's a lot of stuff I didn't pick up in the game. There's even some missions I didn't do. So there's still a lot of game that I did not play because I decided I didn't want to do the full thing. But I highly recommend this game. It's fun. If you're looking for a collectathon, haven't touched this, this is perfect. I can't think of any like major complaints. I know I was complaining about some of the DLC stuff a little bit, but even with me complaining about it, the DLC is still fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's still good.
Well, good.
Now it's just a credit roll. And we're out of things to bullshit about.
Yeah. It's time to leave.
Yeah, fuck it. Time to leave.
It's like, oh no, people might have to miss the credits. It's just more incentive to play the game themselves.
Honestly, like I said, you should play it. It's really good.